The Persian Wars are among the most important events in ancient history. After all, they completely turned the then prevailing world order upside down. The total of 5 battles caused a shift of power within Europe and the Middle East, the aftermath of which continues to this day. In this video, we dive together into a story with history-making events and exciting twists and turns. The Persian Wars refer to the warlike conflicts between the Persian Empire and various Greek city-states in the 5th century BC, or more precisely, between 490 and 479 BC. But how did these two parties actually come into conflict with each other? To understand this, we need to delve a little deeper into the history of ancient Greece and the Persian Empire. Since the 6th century BC, the Persian Empire not only had a vast territory, but was also particularly influential. Since 521 BC, the great King Darius I ruled here, who murdered the magician Gomata in order to ascend the throne of the Persian Empire himself. Thus, Darius I became a usurper who seized power by force. From the Mediterranean to India, the Persians had made themselves subjects of numerous peoples, including some Greek poleis on the coast of Asia Minor, thanks in part to his rule. The city-states of ancient Greece called themselves poleis. In contrast to the Persian Empire, they were very independent and joined together in the Hellenic League. This was a rather loose union of 31 of the actually freely organized city-states. Among the many rather small and insignificant poleis, Athens and Sparta, but also Corinth, were the most important and powerful city-states in the Hellenic League. Athens and Sparta were bound by a special alliance that was meant to unite the strengths of the two powers. While Athens had the largest population of the Greek city-states, and was known for its formidable naval fleet, the Spartans were feared militarily, especially on land. So much for the initial situation between the Hellenic League and the Persian Empire, two very different but nevertheless very strong powers in the world of the 5th century BC. But how did the tense situation between ancient Greece and the Persians escalate? As already mentioned, the Persians had extended their sphere of influence to Asia Minor and what is now Cyprus, and in the process had also taken Greek poleis. In the Ionian Revolt, which lasted from 500 to 494 BC, these city-states rebelled against Persian rule, but the plan did not succeed. Instead, the Persians won the decisive naval battle and almost completely destroyed the trading city of Miletus. Despite the victory in the Ionian Revolt, the Persians saw the Athenian polis in particular as a threat to the supremacy in Asia Minor. They decided to attack other Greek city-states in order to finally secure their power over the Aegean and the adjacent straits. This decision of the Persians can be seen as the starting signal for the Persian Wars. Between 490 and 479 BC, the Persians attacked the Greek city-states in 5 major battles, both at sea and on land. At the beginning, the Persians were still very sure of their success. After all, their soldiers outnumbered those of the Greeks. But without resistance, the Greek city-states did not want to leave themselves to the arbitrariness of the Persian great power. The beginning of the Persian Wars was marked by the Battle of Marathon in 490 BC, when a war fleet sent by King Darius I docked at a plain near the Greek city of Marathon. However, the soldiers of the Athenian polis had already smelled a rat and ran from Athens to Marathon to clearly defeat the Persian army there. This is also the origin of the famous Marathon race, which, at 42 kilometers, marks the exact distance between Athens and Marathon. After the Persian invasion failed at Marathon, they broke off their campaign in Greece for the time being and retreated. Soon after, the Persian king Darius I died, who was succeeded by his son Xerxes. He was to consolidate the Persians as a great power through the war against Greece and establish their supremacy in southern Europe and Asia Minor as well. It took a full 10 years for the Persians, this time under the leadership of Xerxes, to dare the next attack on ancient Greece. But when they began the Battle of Thermapolae in 480 BC, Xerxes sent to war the largest army in history up to that time. With 600 ships and 200,000 soldiers, the Persians invaded Sardis in Asia Minor and marched along the Aegean coast. On their way, they captured all Greek city-states. Some of them even submitted to the overpowering Persian army without offering any resistance at all. Even at the Thermopylae Pass, where Greek soldiers initially fought successfully against the Persian army, the Greeks had to admit defeat. Thereupon, the Persians moved on to Athens and also conquered what was probably the most powerful polis of ancient Greece. So for King Xerxes and his gigantic Persian army, everything seemed to go according to plan. but the tide turned thanks to a clever move by the Athenian commander Themistocles. In the naval battle of Salamis, the Greek fleet was outnumbered on paper by a total of 600 Persian warships, but with an ingenious trick, Themistocles and his Athenian soldiers still managed to emerge victorious from the battle. The Greek commander lured the Persian ships into a strait between the Greek mainland and the island of Salamis. Due to the limited space, the numerous Persian warships blocked each other's way and could be sunk piece by piece by the outnumbered but cleverly acting Greek warships, a great success for Athens and its allies. In a sense, the naval battle of Salamis marked a turning point in the history of the Persian Wars. From this point on, the Greek city-states, led by the Athenian polis, gained the upper hand. In the end, the Persians lost almost their entire war fleet, which had been so feared before. For this reason, in 479 BC, the Persians attempted to advance to Athens using new tactics on the mainland. However, in the Battle of Plataea, they met the Greek soldiers. They successfully managed to put the invading Persians to flight and took a large war booty from them. The Battle of Plataea marked the final victory of the Greek city-states over the Persian Empire. In the naval battle of Mycale, which occurred in the same year, the Greeks also succeeded in winning the last major battle with the Persians. The outcome of the Persian Wars came as a great surprise, especially for the Persian Empire, and led to a complete reorganization of the balance of power in the ancient world. After the Persians had to admit defeat in the important battles and could not expand their sphere of power, they made no further claims of conquest. All the poleis that Persians took as a result of their attempts at conquest could be recaptured with the help of the other states from the Hellenic League. The Greek city-states remained independent, and the polis of Athens in particular rose to become a true great power within Europe in the years that followed. Athens was especially feared at sea. After all, they had a particularly strong war fleet. In the following years, however, a rivalry developed between the two most powerful city-states, Athens and Sparta, which was also to play a decisive role in the course of ancient history. What do you think about the Persian Wars and the surprising victory of the Greeks over the seemingly overpowering Persians? Which twist in the story fascinated you the most? Feel free to leave a comment and subscribe to the channel to never miss another exciting history video. See you next time!